Welcome to the Real World. My name is Cameron. Thank you so much for joining us here on the Real World podcast. We are huge movie fanatics, as you can tell by that collection of Blu-rays behind me. We talk all about all kinds of different movies here, new movies, old movies, stuff in theaters, stuff on streaming. We cover it all. And today we have a really fun episode for you focused on a particular actor. We've done this several times in the past. Today we're talking about Jack Black. He's the one on everyone's mind because Minecraft is in theaters right now. Audiences are going wild. It's already crossed $500 million, so on its way to 1 billion, I'm sure very soon. And so this is going to be a fun episode. Joining me is Bert. How you doing, man?
Hey Cam, how's it going? Good to see you.
Yeah, I'm doing well. It's been a while. Glad to have you back. We like doing these topics where we focus in on one actor, or sometimes we've done directors in the past, and kind of go through their filmography, rewatch some movies, watch some that maybe we haven't seen before, and then come back together and kind of do one of these drafts again. We're doing a draft this time again, where we'll basically go back and forth picking our favorite Jack Black movies. If Bert picks a movie, I can't pick it. It's no longer on my list, and we kind of compare lists at the end, which should be a lot of fun. Play along with us. Draft your favorite Jack Black movies in the comments down below. It's going to be a lot of fun. Let's get started. All right, so here it is. Our Jack Black movie draft is about to begin. Before that, let's talk a little bit about who this actor is, just in case some people have been living under a rock for the past 20 years. He's kind of been everywhere. I mean, he's gotten really more and more popular as his career has gone on. It's really interesting if you track the history of his career. He's an actor, comedian, and musician, part of the band Tenacious D, and he's been around for a while. He's 55 years old, and he's been acting since about 1992. So he's got quite a storied career. Starting off with a lot of comedies. You know, he's still really known for comedy, more comedic work, but he has branched off and done some more dramatic work as well. He's even done, animation, voiceover stuff, and so he's again had a very unique career in that he's kind of done a little bit of everything, and has worked with some really great directors as well. So I'm a big fan of his. I remember the first film I saw of his, I think, was School of Rock back in
Hmm.
2003. I was 12 years old, and I was just learning to play guitar.
Oh,
And this movie about kids playing music was out, and all the kids in the movie were about my age. So I was like, I gotta go see this. So I remember going to
yeah.
the theater with my cousin and us watching it and just having a blast. And so that was my first exposure to him. And then since I've kind of gone back and watched some of the movies he's done before that, and then of course pretty much everything he's done after that. Bert, what's been your experience with Jack Black and his movies?
Well, he's a guy that's always kind of been in the background, for almost a decade. It was in so many films where he was like, I get the feeling that he would probably go on auditions and want a bigger part, but they'd say, this
Mm,
guy's zany. Let's put him in this side character part.
right,
And I feel like
right.
he got stuck with the zany side character part for the better part of a decade.
Yep.
And so I was very well aware of who he was, but until he sort of stepped to the forefront, most people probably couldn't have said what his name was until about 20 years ago.
Yeah,
And then he
right.
started getting bigger roles. But I'll tell you, this guy is so unique because he's larger than life and he's
Yeah.
also so down to earth, if that can be a thing, where he can be
That's
both.
true. Yeah,
And
good point.
it's funny too. I should mention in preparation, watching a lot of Jack Black films, he's got these little things he does and with his hands, and he shortens words and sounds really cool and makes stuff like that up. I find myself almost gravitating toward that in my real life, and I'm like, well,
Yeah.
I'm not Jack Black. I guess I'll dial it back a little bit. You're drawn to him so much because he's so enthusiastic. Like this guy is the definition of enthusiasm,
Yes.
with most of his roles,
Right.
and also unique because I don't know any actor that, in a majority of his bigger films at least, it always has this musical component, and you can tell
Mm, yeah.
it's exactly who he is, and
Yep.
whoever he's working with said, just be you.
Yes. Right.
And
Right.
I can't think of any other actor like that where music becomes a big part of it,
Mm,
and it's literally him,
yeah.
embodying that and
Right.
projecting that out, and so it's so much fun. Unless you hate Jack Black, in
Right.
which case you're probably not gonna like any of his films because his essence just comes out so exuberantly,
Yeah.
in
Right.
so many of these movies. And the guy, he has zero shyness. He'll
Yeah.
do silly stuff that he sells it so good sometimes it
Yeah.
becomes funny, one of those kind of
Right.
things.
Right.
And he'll do anything to entertain, throws
Yes.
himself, 100% into his work,
Yep.
physically and otherwise. So quite a unique guy. And so I don't know the first time I saw a Jack Black film, but I was well aware of him before he even got his leading roles.
Okay, cool, cool. Excellent. Great. Well, it sounds like we're ready to jump right in. So, Bert, I'm going to let you go first. You get the first draft pick, your favorite Jack Black movie. I'm very curious what you're going to pick. What do you have?
Okay, so for my number one draft pick for Jack Black, I'm going with Shallow Hal.
Oh, really? Okay.
Oh yeah.
Great. Yeah, I've seen
Yeah.
this. I really like this movie. I really do.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it's a film where if you stop about halfway through, you would probably say this film is ridiculous. How can these it's a Fairley Brothers film, right? How
Right.
can they, make fun of people that are heavy and that kind of thing? This is
Right.
ludicrous. What a terrible film.
Right.
Except this film has a great character arc and it
Yes,
comes around terrifically.
it
And
does.
and good on the Fairley Brothers for writing it this way.
Yep.
And he overcomes the insipidness and the
Right.
just the awful like the things that Jason Alexander his character gets to
Yes. Right.
unfortunately languish in for the entirety of the film.
Right.
And it's hilarious. I love this is one of the greatest examples where uh Jack Black, I mean, he's not your typical leading man.
Right.
And
Right.
so I love how the film shows him being able to um connect with a woman, for instance,
Yeah.
whereas a typical Hollywood film is going to have this, airbrushed leading man that's chiseled and all that.
Right. Yep.
And but here's Jack. I mean, he's more like maybe the average American,
Yes.
and such a great personality in that you just want to see him succeed, and he does. And like I said, the film's hysterical. I laughed through quite a bit of it. So it's one I've just revisited many times,
Yeah.
and it's 4.5 star film for me.
Great movie. I haven't seen it in a while, but
Mm,
I just remember it very fondly. It
yeah.
might have been one of the first Fairly Brothers movies I'd seen.
Mm.
Might have
It's
been
one of
even
the better ones.
before. Yeah. Yeah. Might have been before Dumb and Dumber or anything like that. So,
Oh, yeah.
yeah, really like that movie. Again, like you're saying, great character arc, learns his lesson in the
Yeah.
end. It's such a great and a
Yeah.
great Gwyneth Paltrow performance as well.
Right.
All of it just works really well. And yeah, it's a good movie. So I'm glad you brought that one up. All right. Well, on to my number one pick, which is also the very first Jack Black movie I ever saw, School of Rock. That is
Oh,
still my
okay.
favorite.
Yeah, that
Um,
one's on my list, a little further
okay.
down, but
Okay. Gotcha. Yeah, this one, it's so him, right? I mean, this is one where
yeah.
I feel, actually, I was watching some behind the scenes on it, and the writer, Mike White, who's in the movie, he plays his roommate Ned in the movie.
Oh, okay.
He wrote the film. They were neighbors. And so
Oh,
actually Mike White wrote this movie for Jack Black and with him in mind.
oh,
He's like, this is gonna
it's
be
perfect.
you,
Yeah.
it's gonna be your role, it's all you. And so it was really cool that, they obviously got to make the movie and Richard Linklater was brought in as director. I really like him. He did the Before trilogy and he's done several other movies that I really like. And um, it was great. I mean, it's just such a fun movie to watch. It's
Yeah.
very much the definition of like a passion project. This is everything that Jack
Yeah.
Black is about. Rock music and
Yeah.
the fact that it's him kind of imparting the wisdom of rock onto these kids. It makes it so much more fun, especially because the kids are in this prep school. They're very kind of affluent and very intelligent kids, but they don't know anything about rock and roll or anything like that about any of
Yeah.
that lifestyle. So
Right.
he's kind of bringing I guess you could say maybe like the purity of rock and roll to these
Hmm.
kids
Hmm.
in this unique way. And he's all about just playing this one great show that he thinks is going to change the world. That's kind of what he believes rock and this music is all about. And so it's really fun to watch all the kids kind of they have their own little journeys that they go on and of course, he kind of learns a lot about responsibility and growing up himself. So it's very, very just it's very Jack Black. As soon as I think of him, I think of this movie because it's just, again, his
Yeah.
personality comes through so much in this character. He's almost playing himself, and I feel like almost in a way.
Yeah,
And
yeah, more than
so,
most of them. Yeah.
but all the music in it is great. It's all, it's all original music in the film. But I think he had a big part in helping write. And so, yeah, this is one that I visited so many times. It's one that me and my brothers quote a lot because we've watched it
Yeah,
many
sure.
times. And so, that had to be number one. So School of Rock made it in at number one.
Nice. Yeah, I like that one.
All right, Bert, going on to your number two pick. What do you have there?
Okay, I'm gonna go with a film called The Holiday.
Oh, yeah, that's a good one.
Yeah, and this one's a little more dramatic for him.
Right, right.
Although I mean, it's a romantic comedy,
Sure.
and so along the lines of Shallow Hal, but Shallow Hal is really more strictly comedy almost.
Yeah, right.
And again, I guess along the lines of a guy that again is not your typical leading man. I mean, he's almost miscast here, but he makes it work and
Yes.
does so well with it. I just love how it all comes together. And the movie has this kind of storybook quality to it.
Right. Yeah.
And I think it's shot really well and looks great too. And I love the other actors with him. But this part probably easily could have been written as one of the lesser parts. But I mean, he's one of the leading roles in the film, and
Yeah.
and he's funny in it, but he's not too zany in this one, you know. So that's why I
Right.
say it's a little more dramatic.
Hmm.
But yeah, the reason why this one's so high, he's not so much featured the entire time, but the movie is pretty high up there as far as what I enjoy about the movie too.
Yeah. Yeah. It's definitely it's one we've watched. I've only seen it I think maybe twice.
Uh-huh.
So I haven't watched it a ton, but it's one that we're always happy to return. We'll probably return to it this Christmas because I don't think we got to watch it this past year. But it's definitely one I enjoy. Yeah, it's funny. I watched a YouTube video where I forget who does it, but they basically take an actor and they have them kind of go through all the highlights of their career and
Oh
they kind of
yeah,
talk
yeah,
about it a little bit. And he
yeah,
talked
sure,
about
I've seen
this and he's
those.
like, yeah,
They
Kate Winslet went from Leonardo DiCaprio to me, you know. He's like, it's something you wouldn't think of, like you said, pairing her up with him,
yeah,
this like leading lady Oscar-winning actress with
yep,
Jack Black, it's like, but it works so well in the movie. I mean, it really does. They have a great relationship and you totally buy
yeah.
into it. So, yeah, it's a lot of fun. Great, great film.
Yeah, and by the way, I wanted to throw this into, I guess this is as good a time as any, but I don't know if you ever seen videos of him being stopped by paparazzi on the street.
I don't know
And
that I have.
more than any person I've ever seen, he will interact with the paparazzi person and kind of surround with them and like karate chops toward him and do silly stuff. There's a video where he on his bicycle and he's pretending to bike real hard, and there's dozens of paparazzi following him around this park. It's just insane stuff. No other star is doing this kind of
Yeah,
stuff. They're
right,
usually telling them off or trying to get away, or
right,
and he doesn't stick around too long usually, but
sure.
just so much fun. I mean, you feel like he probably is a really nice guy in real life too.
Yeah, exactly. He does. He puts out that vibe very strongly, which is
Yeah.
cool. Excellent. All right. Well, let's jump into my number two then, which is going to be a film that I've enjoyed many times as well, called Nacho Libre.
Oh yeah.
Um,
Yep.
it's,
Yep. That's on my list too. Oh yeah.
oh, this is so silly. This is
It
Jared
is. It
Hess,
is.
who just did Minecraft, the director, and he also
Hmm.
did Napoleon Dynamite, which was
Right.
like kind of, high school years for me. That was the movie, that's kind of like the movie that me and all my friends quoted. And this came on the heels of that. So this one I've seen so many times. It might be even more quotable in some ways. So many quotes from this. Every time we eat corn, it's get that corn out of my face, all that stuff. It's so
Gotcha.
great. It's so much fun. And this is probably his most physical role, right? Because he's playing this wrestler,
Yeah. Oh
right?
yeah.
This luchador. So, man, he had to do some crazy stunts. I mean, I'm sure he had a stunt guy for some of it, but some of it you can tell it's him doing
Yeah. Oh
this
yeah.
crazy
Yeah.
stuff. And it's really good. It's a really fun movie. It's an interesting kind of story about it kind of has some depth to it, because he's playing this, monk essentially, right? And who's like taking care of these orphans, and so he's got this kind of crisis of faith in that he wants to
Right.
be live this holy life, but he loves wrestling and lives a life of violence. So it's kind of almost like a Batman movie if you want if you want to think of it that way. Like he's got this dual identity, going on, and
Sure, that's true. That's true. I think
it's kind of fun. It's a really interesting idea, very quirky idea, but it totally works. He totally pulls it off. He had concerns about playing a Mexican wrestler, not being Mexican himself, but the writer said, "Oh, no, your mother was Mexican, but your father was a Swedish missionary," and so that's how they made that work, I guess,
yeah, yeah,
behind the scenes. But it's just such a great story. It's got a great kind of romantic love story to it as well.
yeah, yeah,
And then his relationship with, Skeletor was fantastic as well. So I like all of it. His interactions with the kids again. He does really well with kids, I think.
yeah,
So
yeah.
whenever
Oh
you
yeah.
see him and younger actors in there, they play well off of each other. Because he's very much kind of a big kid himself, I guess you could say. But yeah,
Yeah.
Nacho's just tons of fun. So I had to include that one.
Yeah, I like that one a lot. And he's kind of a fish out of water because he's playing this
It's true.
Mexican guy, but he doesn't really belong, right? He doesn't, I mean, you can kind of tell he's belong where he is,
Right.
and he has to kind of work through that.
Yeah.
It's also, I mean, it is a very ethnic film. This is one. Do you have the Blu-ray by chance?
I do. Yeah. This is the Blu-ray. Yep.
Oh, that's the Blu-ray. Yeah.
Yeah.
I wasn't sure if that was the. Well, I guess it is blue. So there you go. Uh, does it have an audio commentary?
It does, and I haven't listened to it,
Hmm.
but it's him, it's the director, and it's the writer, and it's the same writer as School of Rock. So I gotta listen to
Okay.
that sometime.
I want to pick that up. Yeah, because I feel like there's a lot in that film that I don't really entirely grasp because of the
Yeah,
cultural differences, and
sure,
I'd love to know
sure.
more about it. There's a lot they don't
Right.
really explain,
Mm-hmm.
and
Mm-hmm.
so that would be probably an interesting listen.
Yeah, for sure. Excellent. All right, Bert, we're on to your number three now. What do you got there?
Okay, I'm going a little more mainstream here. I'm going to go with a fun one. Jumanji: Welcome to the Jungle.
Ah, yes, of course. Yeah, that one's on my list too.
Yeah, and lots of fun, and again, he's not necessarily the leading guy, but that's okay. He certainly gets his share of screen time. Gets to play obviously someone that's not himself for sure,
Right.
and that's much fun to see him do that.
Yeah.
And it gets himself in crazy situations. I was gonna say he's the comic relief, but there's Kevin Hart too, and they're
Sure.
they're all pretty funny actually, all the
Yeah.
leads. I'll just mention too, Karen Gillan.
Yeah.
When I saw her in Guardians of the Galaxy, I had no idea she was the same person. Obviously,
Right.
how could you really?
Right.
And fascinating actor Karen
Yeah,
is.
she is.
Have you ever seen the making of her day in the life of the character that she was in Guardians?
Oh, sure. Yeah, yeah,
Um,
yeah. Yeah.
yeah,
It
very interesting
is.
actor. I just thought I'd mention that too.
Wow.
But yeah, just a fun big. I like the big budget, fun Hollywood movies, and this is kind of the prime example. Tons of comedies, great action, some great cinematography and stuff. So had to put this one pretty high.
Yeah, that's a ton of fun. That movie, yeah, so much great humor there. Because he's playing a teenage girl
Yeah,
essentially. It's like, oh, that's so much fun. Yeah, it's
yeah. He's not playing Jack Black in this one, that's for sure.
exactly. It's a very
Uh,
unique performance for him, and he totally pulls it off.
yeah,
It's
yeah,
really kind of amazing actually when you think about it. So,
yeah.
great choice. All right. Cool. All right, my number three is going to be another one that's different. It's not a comedic role.
Okay,
It's definitely one of his more dramatic films. It's Peter Jackson's King Kong.
okay,
I really like this movie. I got to rewatch it this week, and I've
yeah.
always liked it. It's just sort of like, I mean, this guy did Lord of the Rings, right? So it's epic filmmaking on every level. I mean,
It
it's just a
is. Yeah,
huge
yeah,
scale and everything. But Jack Black's kind of the main character. I guess, no,
yeah,
Naomi
yeah. Oh
Watts
yeah,
really is, but I mean, Jack Black is kind of the guy you're with throughout the film. And it's such
right.
a unique role because he's not a heroic character.
No,
He's very
no.
greedy. He's very
Yes.
unlikable here.
Yeah.
He's playing something very different from his typical,
Uh-huh.
very likable, zany self.
That's true. Yeah.
Um, so I just think as a performance, as an actor,
Mm-hmm.
it's really good because it is so
Mm-hmm.
different. Again, he's not really being funny at all. It's just kind of like he's got this one track mind, this mission, he wants to shoot this movie and then eventually wants to, take King Kong to the mainland and the chaos that ensues because of his kind of obsession and his greed
Mhm.
is really what's at the heart of this film. So very interesting performance. He plays it so well, so believably, and it's just a great movie. It's tons of fun. I actually prefer the extended cut. I don't know if you've seen the extended cut, which is over 3 hours, about 3 hours and 15 minutes. But all the stuff that's added in is great. It's really good stuff. So yeah, big King Kong fan.
Yeah, I on your recommendation, I went down and tracked down the extended cuts.
Okay.
I didn't love the film the first time I saw it.
Okay.
And honestly, I'm right about there in the again, I'm kind of in the middle. And here's why.
Okay.
It is a really kind of epic film.
Hmm.
There's so much about it. It's one of those so much about it I like, but a
Yeah,
lot of things that I here's
sure.
the thing. Like I just feel like as much as I love big budget kind of stuff, I
Hmm.
wish that like right when the momentum's going with Kong, then they bring in the dinosaurs and I feel like I'm watching Jurassic
Right.
Park. And I just wish all that stuff was gone and we
Yeah.
could just continue the story. I feel like it's
Right, right.
too much sideshow kind of stuff going on.
I
And
gotcha.
again, I love that kind of stuff, but I'm like,
Sure,
why
sure.
do I feel like this is, JP 1 and 2 were huge hits and now he got
Right.
pressured into putting dinosaurs in this movie?
Right, right, right.
Because the rest of it's great, so I'm about
Yeah.
2.5, 3 stars, but I enjoyed the whole
Okay.
thing. And even the 3.5 hour cut or whatever it is,
Yeah.
I enjoyed the whole thing, but
Hmm. Hmm.
but I just wish it was more about Kong and doesn't have this other craziness going on, which
Right.
isn't even 100% there with the CGI too.
Sure, sure. I hear you. I hear you. Um, all right. Well, let's jump into your number four. What do you have there?
Oh, but I should say too, great pick though as far as performance
Oh yeah, you
wise.
liked his performance in it? Yeah.
Great, yeah. I mean, everything else is great.
Yeah, sure,
And
sure.
so for a top, especially, I mean, that is one of his more challenging performances for
Yeah.
sure. Yeah, so
Hmm.
I want to mention that too.
Great.
Yeah, so this is gonna be interesting.
Okay.
Um, my next one, I got to go with Minecraft.
Oh, you got to see it.
I did.
Oh, cool.
I
Okay.
watched your out of theater reaction, but that's all I've seen.
Okay.
I have not seen any of your score or review, so
Okay.
this will be interesting. I
Okay.
thought I don't even want to know. I'm just going to go in and just say what I think. And maybe Cam thought
Sure.
it was a 1 star film. I have no idea,
Sure. Okay, cool.
but I
Cool.
had so much fun with Minecraft.
Great.
Yeah, it surprised me. I went with my nephew, and he has played Minecraft a lot in years
Okay.
past.
Okay.
I've seen maybe a few minutes of gameplay, but I've never played
Mm,
it.
right.
And so I basically knew what the game was.
Hmm.
And I probably saw the trailer 6 months ago or something. So I forgot basically everything.
Okay, good.
And I laughed throughout this entire film.
Yeah.
Jack Black just 100% throws, everything all in, all on the table,
Great.
physically and otherwise, as we talked about before. I mean, it's such a great showcase for his ability, and there's even works in music, of course, again.
Sure.
And the animation looked great. The worlds look immense. Frankly, even more so than Super Mario. I didn't think that would be the case, but
Mm,
there's just some epic shots where if you pay attention to the background, there's layers and mountains and things like in the distance, and
yeah.
just felt very big. When I see an animated film, if it's very, very small and you just, very little going on,
Mm.
I mean, I noticed too, but this was very expansive. But just had a had a blast and well exceeded my expectations.
Well, I've got to say, I am
Uh-oh.
basically in the same exact boat as you are. I loved
Oh,
it.
okay.
I thought it was so much
Okay.
fun.
Oh, good. I'll have to
Um,
read your review then. I
yeah, it like you said, I mean, I think really this movie kind of comes down to what are your expectations going in, which
yeah.
mine were very low. Because again, like
Yes.
you, I
Yeah.
have not played Minecraft. My brothers are all into it. I went with them because
Yeah.
I knew they
Yeah.
could tell me all the references after the movie was over.
Right.
Um,
Right.
but it depends on, your expectation level, your experience with Minecraft, and how much do you like Jack Black? Because like you said, he is going
Yeah.
all in Jack Black, zany,
Yeah.
crazy, kooky performance. I mean, it's utterly ridiculous, the whole thing. The music, the songs he's singing throughout the film, all of it. And I'm such a big Jack Black fan that I was in heaven. I mean, it was just like,
Yeah.
awesome.
Exactly.
It was so much
Exactly.
fun. Yeah, we had a great time watching it. Our theater was really into it. And so yeah, it was a great experience. It was a really great experience. It's really well made. And it's
Yeah.
again, it's the guy who did Nacho Libre and Napoleon
Yeah.
Dynamite. So if
Yeah.
you're into that, that sensibility, that sense of humor he has, I think you're gonna get a lot out of this.
Well, good, because I couldn't tell from your you hinted a little bit that it was kind of good, but you didn't really say a whole lot. So
Sure.
I was like,
Right.
this is gonna be interesting because I see somebody hating. In fact, I
Oh
have seen
yeah.
some people online that think it's awful. That's
Right.
fine. That's fine. I had a great
Sure.
time. That's all I can tell
Sure.
you.
Absolutely. I'm glad you included it in your top five. That's
Yeah.
excellent. All right, let's jump into my number four then, which is going to be Kung Fu Panda. The
Mm,
original Kung Fu Panda, the first film, came out back in 2008. DreamWorks Animation knocked it out of the park with this. I felt like
mm,
this movie was such a breath of fresh air. It wasn't like really any other animated movie I had seen, with all the, kind of Asian setting and the martial arts leanings, all of that was so fascinating to me. And of course, it's a world populated by, anthropomorphic animals. And so all these different characters like, tigress and monkey and mantis and crane and all these different characters were so fascinating and had so much personality. But of course, Jack Black was at the center of it all as Po, the panda. And I just think he gives a really good performance in this role. It's sort of suited for him perfectly.
mhm,
Um, Very funny, obviously, but a lot of heart here, a lot of kind of interesting drama, a lot about adoption, family is
mm.
is kind of the key element of that film. And it's really good. I really have a blast watching it. The action sequences are really exhilarating too. And so this is just a movie I've liked. I've liked all of them. I think there's kind of been diminishing returns as the franchise has gone on, but this first one holds up super well. And so I'm a big fan of that first Kung Fu Panda movie.
Nice. Yeah, I gotta watch that one. I haven't seen it yet.
Oh, really? Okay. Okay. Yeah, I think you'll like it. I think you'll like it. All right, so that's my number four. Bert, this is your last one, your final draft pick for Jack Black movies. What do you got?
Well, I know for sure you didn't like this one.
Oh,
So this is gonna be. I'm gonna go for my last pick to round
okay.
out my five. I'm going with one called Gulliver's Travels.
Ah, yes.
And this is one that I knew of the story, and I think there might have been a version of this long time. And so when this came out, I was very happy to see with some incredible visuals. They really made a really fun story. It's kind of a spoof on oh, I don't know, what do you call it, like the lords and ladies and England and
Yeah.
um not pirates. What am I trying to say?
Yeah, the whole kind of
Uh,
medieval
Thank you,
era.
medieval.
Yeah.
Yeah, the medieval
Yeah.
era. It's kind of a spoof on that. This is the direction they decided to go with it.
Right.
And I just I think Jack Black is perfect cast. He's reacting to a lot of interesting things that are happening to him as being a giant person and with a bunch of tiny people around him. And I think the sets are great, and there's some really great forced perspective. And I'm a fan of forced perspective.
Right.
The entire movie they're doing forced perspective
Yeah.
tricks, and so I love to kind of look at it like I wonder if this is how they did this scene to pull
Right.
that off, or it's probably a
Right.
combination of things that are going on. So the
Sure,
entire
sure.
film they're having to figure out various tricks
Yeah.
to make the illusion succeed, and I just love that stuff. So for me, I had to include it. It's not so much a performance thing, but Jack Black is great in it. I mean, I think he's does very good with the material. But yeah, that's one that I have enjoyed many times, and it's in 3D.
Gotcha. Ah, there you go. Yeah, maybe if I should watch it in 3D, I'd like it more. I just
I don't
remember
know.
here was my thing with the movie is I
Yeah.
had just read the book.
Oh,
It was
okay.
one of those where it was like, my mom used to do this because we were homeschooled. If you read the book,
Oh,
then we'll go take you to the movie, that
oh,
kind of thing.
right.
And
Mhm.
so I read the book and I loved it. I thought, man, this is such a great story. And then when I went and saw the movie, it's kind of like, it's not really the book. It's kind of its own
Yeah.
thing. It's just got the
Yeah. Yeah.
name and it's kind of got the basic plot of that story. And so I
Gotcha.
was just very disappointed.
Mm.
Because my expectations were in a different place. Maybe if I watched it now, I would like it more. I don't know. I haven't watched it. I think I've literally only seen it the one time. So
Mm.
I should revisit it because I probably would enjoy it more now, having some distance from it. And isn't Emily Blunt in that too? I
She
think
is.
she's,
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah.
I like
Yeah.
her a
Very, very
lot.
early,
So
very early on in her career. I mean,
yeah,
they're just doing silly stuff because of the spoof.
right, right, right.
But I mean, it makes me laugh a few times. Some of the jokes
Sure.
they have built in there too. I should mention. But
Gotcha.
yeah, I just think it's a fun family film. that
Yeah.
Jack is he's great in it. So
Yeah, definitely. He's always great. The thing is, he's
yeah,
really never turned in a bad performance that I've seen. So,
yeah.
excellent. Yeah, maybe I'll queue that up and revisit it soon. That'd be fun. All right, so for my final pick, this is tough. I've got a few I could go with because there's several that I like him in, but the one I'm gonna go with is one that I just saw for the first time this week. It's called Envy,
Oh, I've
and
seen that. Yeah, that's on my
yeah.
list. Yeah,
This is a fun one. I really like this.
yeah,
This is him and
yeah.
Ben Stiller. So it's really a Ben Stiller movie, kind of co-starring Jack Black, but he's
Hmm.
in throughout the whole film, and
Oh yeah.
it's just a really great, relatable film. And again, Jack Black is playing such a likable guy.
Yeah,
He's not quite going quite as zany as something like Minecraft maybe,
yeah.
but it's a bit
Right.
more grounded. But it's a great story. It's kind of this simple tale of jealousy, essentially, is what it kind of
Hmm.
devolves into, and all the insane
Yeah,
hijinks that these characters get up to. But he's great. He's playing this kind of just regular guy. He's kind of got his head in the clouds. He's a dreamer. He's not focused. But he comes up with this idea of how to get rid of dog turds, basically, is his,
yep,
his idea. And it takes off and it becomes this big thing. And Ben
yeah.
Stiller thinks, it's a terrible idea. It'll never work. But he figures it out and becomes a millionaire, billionaire, builds a big house. And then it kind of becomes about Ben Stiller and how jealous he is of everything that his neighbor has.
Yeah, yeah.
And so it's just again it's a great kind of moral story.
Hmm.
Jack Black's character again, he's so likable because you don't dislike him. He's not like, I feel like most of movies like this character would become a jerk. He would become kind of the villain of the movie, and that's not what happens here at all.
Yeah, yeah,
He's actually very helpful. He's like constantly giving stuff to Ben Stiller's character and their family and treating them with such kindness and respect. And
yeah.
it's great. And he's very forgiving character as well at the end after all this madness has happened. He's just like, oh, that's cool, dude. It's no problem. So it's just a really great character. It's a great story. Very well told, very simple movie, but it's just very, very well done. So that one I had a lot of fun with, so I had to include that one on the list. So you said you have seen that. Did you like it?
Yeah, I've seen it a couple times, but not in
Okay.
the last decade. I didn't get a chance
Okay.
to rewatch that one, but I put it on my honorable mentions. Yeah,
Yeah, yeah, it's a fun one. All right, speaking
yeah.
of honorable mentions, let's go through a few because I do have a few. One of them is Jumanji: The Next Level, which you already mentioned Welcome to the Jungle, which I think is slightly
Hmm.
better, I think, than Next Level, but
Right,
they're
right. They're
pretty
both good.
close. Yeah, they're both
Yeah. Oh
really
yeah.
fun watches.
Yes.
And I like that Jack Black gets to play a different character in the second one. That was really
Yeah.
cool. So had to mention that one. What else do you have?
Honestly, most of my honorable mentions were in your top five, so I don't
Okay.
have a ton, but
Okay.
I've got to mention I got at least one here, and it's a pretty big one, and that's Mario.
Oh yeah,
Bowser
sure.
done right. I mean, I just I never thought Bowser would be one of my favorite characters in the
Right.
Mario movie,
Yeah.
because yeah, I feel like a lot of actors that would have just been someone that comes in and does this sort of heavy-handed, sort of scary,
Right. Yes.
hilarious. Instead, it's one of the
Yeah.
best parts of the movie.
Right.
And so thanks to Jack Black and his
Yeah.
musical abilities. So yeah, that we
Absolutely.
have a lot of fun with that one. He might be the best character in the movie.
Yeah, I totally agree. And the song he sings, Peaches,
He
is
just
just a big hit for me.
yeah, love it.
Great one. Great one. Couple that he did that I liked. One I just watched recently, hadn't seen before. Richard Linklater, also director who did School of Rock. It's called Bernie.
Oh,
This
I
is a
saw that
true
one.
story. Yeah, I saw that you
Yeah, that's
logged it on
decent. It's
Letterboxd.
decent. Yeah. Hmm.
Yeah, I think I liked it maybe a little bit more than you. I rated it a little bit higher because again, it's such a unique character for him, and
Hmm.
it's a tough balancing act. This is one of these dark comedies. It's like
Yeah.
it's also based on a true story, which gives it that extra level of kind of uh, awkwardness almost. Like
Sure.
it's a very interesting movie, um, and it's one of only two real people that he's played in his career.
Oh.
The other one is another movie I like. It's a Netflix original called The Polka King. Have you watched that?
Oh, no.
That's a fun one.
Okay.
I would say check it out. It's another character who's likable, but he basically comes up with this Ponzi scheme and starts,
Oh, really?
yeah, it's
Oh,
really
oh no.
interesting. Yeah, it's a really interesting
It's a true
movie.
story, huh?
Yeah, it's a true story. The
Huh.
Polka King, definitely.
Was does
And
he plays polka
of
songs?
course, yeah. So his
Yeah,
musical
okay.
abilities on full display there as
Oh
well.
yeah. Yeah.
It's a good another kind of more comedic film, but with some drama in there. So
Hmm.
yeah, check that out. Um, Apollo 10 and a half is another one. He's frequently collaborated with Richard Linklater, as I mentioned, and this is one of his most recent films, also on Netflix. Um, a sort of semi-autobiographical film about Richard Linklater, the director.
Oh.
And Jack Black is narrating the film. He's not actually
Oh,
playing acting
okay.
in the film, but he's narrating the entire movie. There's narration
Okay.
throughout it,
Gotcha.
and it's a really interesting film. It's definitely worth watching. Unique visual style there. Um, I also liked him in Our Family Loves the Muppets, and he's in the 2011 Muppets film, but it's more of a
Okay.
cameo. It's not a
Okay.
major role. He's
I think
in
I saw
well,
that one.
it's not a cameo. It's a little more than a cameo. He's in several
Yeah.
scenes throughout the movie,
Ah,
but he's not a main character necessarily. So when I
right.
told when I told my kids, yeah, I'm doing a podcast on Jack Black today, they're like, from the Muppets? I was like, yeah, that guy.
No,
Um,
known for the Muppets. Yeah.
exactly.
I
Only
think I
thing
did
they've
see that
seen
film
him.
in the theater, but I haven't seen it
Okay.
since. Yeah.
Yeah, we're huge Muppet fanatics. I've got the whole collection of Muppet movies, and
Ah,
that's one of the best ones, I think.
huh.
So he's great in that. Any other ones, Bert, before I close out?
Uh, I just wanted just wanted your thoughts on High Fidelity. Did you see that one?
Haven't seen it. That's one I really wanted to
Okay.
watch, and I didn't get to
Yeah,
see it.
I was kind of disappointed in it. There's
Okay.
almost a little bit of mean-spiritedness in
Hmm.
Jack Black's character. I'm like,
Okay.
well, this is kind of a bummer, you know?
Yeah, right.
And the movie's it's more John Cusack's movie, and I just thought
Yeah.
it was okay. It wasn't terrible. I think it was at 2 stars, but I was just curious if
Okay.
you saw it because I wondered if you kind of picked up on that as well. But it's not
Right.
bad. It's
Okay.
all right.
Yeah, I definitely want to watch it because I know it's kind of revolves around music and that whole
Yeah,
thing. And it's one of his
mhm.
earliest, like I
It
think it's
is.
one of considered as kind of breakout role because it's one that he's bigger in.
Yeah, a lot of people like it. I just
Yeah.
thought it was just okay.
Okay, okay, gotcha.
That's
He
all
of
I
course
got.
started off. I had to mention these really briefly because, as we mentioned in the '90s, is when he started, and he's playing really small roles,
Yeah,
background roles. Like, did
yeah.
you know he has a background role in Demolition Man with Stallone?
No.
He's in this, like
Huh.
very much in the background. You can barely see him in a
Uh,
couple of shots. And then a very quick role in Waterworld. Are you aware of
really?
that? He's in
Huh. Is he
Waterworld.
one of the bad guys?
He's one of the
What do you call
bad
those
guys
guys?
on the jet ski that gets blown up in like 2 seconds. And then a slightly bigger role. He actually has a couple speaking lines in Enemy of the State.
Oh, I remember him in
Um,
Enemy of the State. Yeah, that's a good
yeah,
movie.
yeah,
Yeah.
it's a great movie. Great
Uh,
movie. So
uh,
wanted
yeah.
to mention those briefly. But that's it, folks. That's our Jack Black podcast. We're both big fans. I'm glad you're a fan of Jack Black like I am.
Ah, yes.
This was a big podcast that I was looking forward to because again, he's an actor that I've just adored for so many years now, and I'm glad he's still working, still going strong. I mean, he's really stronger than ever. I mean, these huge movies he's in now.
Yeah.
It's kind of amazing to again see the kind of trajectory of his career. I'm sure he could have never predicted where it went. Although it's kind of funny, he's now in all these video game movies. His first role in a commercial was for some game called Pitfall. I think back
I
in the
saw the
80s or
commercial. I
90s.
went
Have you
back and
seen
found
that?
it.
Yeah,
Yeah. He
that's
almost
really
looks like a
funny.
little Steve Irwin in the commercial,
He
like a
kind
little
of
crocodile
does.
hunter,
Yeah,
you
right.
know?
Exactly.
Yeah.
Totally. He's got the safari gear on and everything. Um, yeah, so it's kind of cool that he's become kind of the video game king. I'm curious as to what's in store next for him. I'm sure
Well, yeah.
Mario 2 and Minecraft 2 will be on their way.
Yeah, yeah. And you remember like 2, 3 years ago, we were talking about video games and we're like, yeah, there haven't really been. And since
Yeah,
then, I mean, at least Super Mario and
right.
Minecraft have come along, if not more.
Yep,
And so I feel like the landscape is changing a little bit. But,
definitely.
it seems like anytime I see that he's in a movie, I know, well, at least he's in it. Like at least there's
Yes.
going to be that firecracker in the scenes that he's
Yeah.
in.
Exactly. I feel much the same way. Anything I
Yeah.
hear about him doing, I'm like, I gotta see it. I gotta see
Yeah.
what he does. You know, he's one of those actors
Yeah.
that I'm
What's
always
he gonna
looking
do
forward
next?
Right. So awesome.
Yeah.
Awesome. Well, great. Thanks again, Bert, for joining us.
Yeah. My
Thank you
pleasure.
all for listening and watching the podcast here on YouTube. We are continuing to grow the channel, getting closer and closer to 650, hopefully 700 by the end of the year. That's our goal. So keep watching, keep sharing, keep commenting. Make sure you hit the like button. If you haven't subscribed, of course, hit subscribe and hit the bell so you get notified of all our videos. Thanks again. We will see you next time right here on The Real World.